A chaste person is one who's very good in front of God, in front of the neighbor. That is a chaste person. But now virginity is a virtue, or I don't say a vow that someone who has never made any sexual activity, no, who has never done any sexual activity,
yes,
neither with himself or with the others, all right?
Yeah.
Since birth,
yes,
he has never known any sexual activities whatsoever. That is virginity.
yes,
And that is what Father John talks about.
yes,
All right? And I can confirm to you that John was, what do you call, irreproachable, irreproachable about his own vows.
Yes.
Very reproachable.
Yeah.
He could not absolutely do anything on that kind.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yes, Father.
Only he kept his own vows. He kept his own life.
Yeah.
That is why he was telling his own children. What is that exhortation that many have misunderstood of fugge cito, sempre longe.
Translate in English?
Translate in English,
Yes.
to run away quickly.
Okay, yeah.
In the question of scandal
Run
against
away from
sexuality,
danger, yes.
in the case of a scandal of chastity,
Yes.
run away quickly,
Quickly?
far, always.
Always.
Now that was just to inculcate in our own, in his own children, that they should live an integrity, a moral integrity of life. Moral integrity of life. That was to inculcate in this man, in his own, what do you call, children.
Yeah.
Apostle Jesus, Evangelist Sisters of Mary, contemporary evangelists of the heart of Christ. Yes, because of the moral integrity of this man.
I mean, as we have just said, the sexual virtues of saintly persons is not a private matter before the church and its faithful. That's why we celebrate and venerate virgins like Saint Maria Goretti and our own recent Sudanese Virgin Saint Bakita. I put it to you, Father Thomas, bluntly, as a way of celebrating the consecrated heroism of our founder, Father John Marengoni. Is it your strong or even very strong opinion that Father Marengoni talked passionately about virginity from a lived experience? That Father Marengoni was actually a virgin? What do you say that?
Alex, I want to tell you, Father John Marengoni entered the seminary at the young age of, I think, 11 or 12. Very young, still very delicate.
Yes.
This is my own conviction.
Yeah.
That Marengoni taught us this virginity and other things because of his own conviction. Because he lived it. He lived that life. And he wanted us to do that, to live that life. Okay? And so I'm totally convinced that John kept his own vows.
We had started the beatification process of our late co-founder, Bishop Mazoldi, but unfortunately it was shelved when we fell into this problem of visitation. I remember Father Otieno, when he asked, should we continue with the beatification process in spite of the visitation, he was told, no, you first deal with the current issue. When it is over, then you can continue with the beatification. We had almost reached the stage of him being declared the servant of God, even the prayer. I know because I was in touch with Harakamanzi, they had even sent the prayer. We were almost at that stage for him to be declared a servant of God. Now, Father Thomas, from your very good and long acquaintance with Father John Marengoni, as we have just said, would you also think that Father Marengoni was a person worthy of beatification or even subsequently also a saint?
I have no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. Marengoni was a man who was very, very committed to his own life, to his own religious, priestly, and missionary life. And so, if God wills, I will have no objection, and he may be beatified, and that will be to our own joy. because he can show it in his life. He can show it. And there is no question about it. I don't have anything.
Yes, I can also compliment Father. I remember one time we were sitting down there towards his last years. We were sitting at a table with Father Dennis Moroso. Father Marengoni never liked to talk much about his virtues or his aspirations. I don't know why, but all of a sudden he said, I had wished for martyrdom, but God wanted it otherwise. It struck me. It struck me. It struck me. Nevertheless, the Catholic Church is said to require something they call, there's one, the other side they call the devil's advocate, and those who may object to the beatification of somebody because by showing their weaker side. In a Fitz Far magazine of 2007, you can see it here, a tribute to Baba. Father Mbunju wrote a small article or evaluating, appreciating our late Bishop Sister Mazzoldi and Father John Marengoni. Whereas he said so many good things about the bishop, but he also says many good things about Father John. About his negative sides, he says like this. Yes, Father Marengoni was very good, but at certain times, the other side, sometimes he appeared very rough, harsh, dictatorial, even lacking in gentleness. But there is an appendix. Father said that's how you would appear superficially, but if you came to understand him more, you would understand actually that he did the things out of love for the people under him, love for the institute. What would you say of this?
As you said, Elasi, that he did it out of love for his own children. And that is what Marengoni did. Marengoni was a very astute teacher, was a very authentic teacher. He taught his own children the right doctrine of the church. And he taught his own children about the virtues, all right? Especially this religious life, the religious virtues. And Marengoni wanted that his children should aim to the highest moral integrity of their own lives. And that is why he was very, very concerned that his children do not sin at all. And that was how Marengoni taught people. And he was a very good teacher. He was a very genuine teacher. He taught the true doctrine of the church so that the children should be really following the teaching of the church and should be holy people. Should be holy people. Not just half. For him, he was total. He was total in this. Maybe because of that, some might have maybe misunderstood him. But he had that, as you say, doing that because of love of God, love of the neighbor, love of his own children, that his own children do not fall into sin. Is that all right?
Yes.
And like he himself,
yeah.
He was a very disciplined
yeah.
person, very disciplined person, very moral disciplined, religiously disciplined, even in a mission, very disciplined person. So he wanted also to bring that discipline to his own children. And maybe because of that, some misunderstood him. In any case, Jesus himself was a very high teacher. Yes. Very high teacher, very good teacher. What did they do? They caught him, they arrested him, they killed him. Yeah. So, but what I say, Marengoni had a very good intention to bring really sanctity and goodness to his own children.
Yes, and actually that will bring me to the next question. Our co-founders, I think, hoped for future Apostles of Jesus members that would be very zealous, that would be selfless, radically faithful like themselves to God and to His church. I think they thought of an army of African religious missionary going out to conquer Africa and the world for Christ and His gospel. But does this Rome decree extraordinary administration, the visitation, since June 2018, does this visitation experience pour cold water on this great hope and the vision of our co-founders?
John, Alex, I want to tell you the decree is a blessing in disguise, a very great blessing in disguise. Rome knew very well, and he's in charge of the religious life, and he wanted the religious life to go in a direct way. So when the decree came, well, we accepted it in humility. We accepted it, but it didn't deter us. Instead, it is a call now for us. It is a call for us to wake up and to see our own mistakes that we have done there and to correct them and to make a reformation. That was, the decree was a call to reformation of our own congregation. It was not something negative for me. It was a call to our reformation. And we, the apostles of Jesus, should take that opportunity to reform ourselves, to see that we live better, like what Marengoni did for us, live better our own family life, live better our own priestly life, live better our own missionary life. That is how we should stand in regards to this decree. And it is an occasion for us to reform our life, to reform the life of the Apostle of Jesus, all right? Yes. And the life of the Apostle, the vows, to be more zealous, more keen to practice our own vows, and to practice our priestly life, like prayer life, like the bravery, the daily Eucharist, the Word of God, to explain to others the Word of God, and to be zealous missionaries. And to be zealous missionaries means we go out there to other countries even to preach the Word of God. We renew our life, all right? We are essential missionaries. And for me, the decree is to make us aware of our own mistakes and to correct them.
Thank you very much, Father. I totally agree. I am the one, like you, I also really believe that these men were so holy that I'm convinced they're in heaven. And I think I'm not the only one. If you go to the tomb of their father, you see all the people there write to them as they feel like they're the people in heaven who can intercede for them. Actually, personally, sometimes our confreres say, may the souls of our co-founders rest in peace. I always find it very difficult to pray like that because my conviction is that these people are in heaven. Let us assume, let us believe that they're in heaven looking down upon the apostles of Jesus now. As you said, they need to be more faithful. Put yourself in their mind, they're in heaven and they are looking down at the apostles of Jesus. What do you think preoccupies them in heaven there when they look down at our institute?
That the apostles of Jesus, the evangelical sisters of Mary, the contemporary evangelists of the heart of Christ, be faithful to their own vocation. Be faithful to their own family life. Be faithful to their own priestly life. Be faithful to their missionary life. I think that is the only proclaim, that they be real faithful people, like they themselves. I remember Father John was in his own deathbed. I went very close to him, and I said, Father, now you are dying. Father, you are dying now. What do you leave us now? We are apostles of Jesus, evangelists, sisters of Mary, a contemporary. What do you say? Father, tell the apostles of Jesus, tell the evangelists, sisters, tell the contemplatives that they be faithful to their religious, priestly, missionary life up to the end. Right?
Yes, Father. Father Thomas, I really, most sincerely thank you for this interview. And I believe for me it is something very, very precious, not just for archive. This is something for me precious for the apostles of Jesus, a very important document, something also which can help us to renew, as you said. I intend to make it public where at the same time when this book, Priesthood and Virginity, will be out. And this interview, I believe, it is going to be a very, very precious archive material. Now, do you have any other, maybe, parting message to the Apostle of Jesus, to the 5 congregations? What would be your parting word to our future viewers and to our viewers?
Bishop Sister Masoli and very Reverend Marengoni, who are very great gifted to us, to Africa in general. And I would wish all these members of these congregations really to love these people, to be committed to their own life. to be committed to their own life, that God, through these people, had deigned to give to them, to be committed and be loyal to their religious life, to their priestly life, to their missionary life, and to remember John Marengoni as a person who was of integral moral and spiritual integrity. He was a man of moral and spiritual integrity. Meanwhile, for Sister Masoli, he was a man of charity and of generosity. And I want the congregations to remember these people in that area, in that way.
Father Thomas, I really thank you most heartily for this first document, video document, and for me, it has been wonderful. This video document is done on Thursday, 23rd June 2022. Actually, today we are celebrating the solemnity of the birthday of St. John the Baptist. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but because tomorrow is the solemnity of the Sacred Heart, this feast day of the birth of St. John the Baptist was celebrated today. Father, for me also it's a kind of a blessing that we have done this interview just one day on the eve of the Sacred Heart. Wow, a great feast. So I think there's a blessing. By the way, there's a small surprise for you. I forgot. There's a small surprise I want to show you here, which I saw. Let me come there, Father. I want to show you a small surprise, which I consider also I have something we call spiritual touches of the founder. I consider it also one of the spiritual touches of the founder. When I was preparing for this interview, I found a photo. I found a photo here. I want to see whether you recognize it. Do you recognize this photo?
Okay.
Yes.
What is?
It looks like you, maybe your ordination. This looks like you. And this Father John Marengoni. Who ordained you?
Bishop Sister Masoli.
Where were you? Oh, so no, it's different.
In Moroto.
Ah, this is a different person.
This look to be like
Quirin.
Quirin.
I thought you might have been the one. Okay. Yeah. So, Father, most thankful for this wonderful interview.
Thank you.
Thank you also for having helped our novices to go through 8 days retreat. And when you go back to Jinja, I wish you a very safe journey.
Thank you.
We shall keep in touch,
yes,
especially about this book, and we collaborate. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Father, for your own consideration, for your own zealous work in these archives. I'm very, very appreciative.
Thank you, Father.
I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you.